Welcome to Before Brunch TV. I'm your host, Stephanie Walters, and today's episode, I am very excited to have this conversation. As we've, matriculated through the last couple years, a lot of things have changed, and this episode is all about women who are over 40 who have not had children yet, and some by choice, some by just life happening, and we're going to have a great conversation today. So welcome to my guest. Thank you for being here and being willing to be vulnerable, to share your life and spill your tea and whatever all that is. So if you want to introduce yourselves, who you are, what you do, and then we'll get into all the good stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me for such a sweet and sensitive subject. I am Patrice Covington. I'm an actor, singer, and educator and media personality.
Yes, the Patrice Covington.
And I don't know how to top that, but I am Nealy Guyan. I am a writer, writing coach, and PR professional, and I'm really happy to be here.
Wonderful. So I'm so grateful to have you ladies here because this is a topic of conversation that I feel like is growing a little bit more, especially amongst Black women, about being over 40 and having children or not having children and what that decision is like. And so, Patrice, if you want to start kind of sharing your journey and talk about what led you here, and then we'll get into the whole children conversation.
Yes. How much time we got?
I think we got a little bit of time.
I never in a million years would have thought, never in 40 years, would have thought that I would not have children by 40. I just turned 40 in May. I had this big, fabulous, amazing birthday party. And I love it here. I love it at 40. I'm feeling great. What it's been for me so far is about acceptance of, I've spent, especially in my body, I've spent so many years of my life just not being grounded and not being fully in acceptance of where I am with my body image for multiple reasons, just growing up in the South and then heading to the, up top to New York to be on Broadway and do all these things, and where body image is such a big deal on the entertainment industry side. And I've been every size. I've been a size 6, I've been a size 18, and I've literally never been happy. And I look back at these photos where I miss these moments of not truly enjoying being in the middle of the Red Sea in a 2-piece bikini. And I didn't even know I was fine. Lord, if you make it that size again, I'm gonna know I'm fine.
She'll be grateful this time.
I'm gonna know I'm fine. But even in that, just joking right now, but I'm fine now. That's what 40 is about for me so far. That's been the biggest thing, is about being fully in acceptance of where I am in life. Also being proud of the things that I've done. I've been, we're gonna be humble sometimes, but also I've done some good shit. Just being proud of myself and being happy with myself through and through.
Nealy, how about you? Where's 40
Where does it?
led you?
So, 40, and I just actually had a birthday 2 weeks ago, so 40.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. 40 plus. But I think that it's been an interesting journey. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been a planner. So even small, I had my whole life planned out. I was going to be, have this profession, have this family and everything. And going through life never seems to turn out that way. So I think I've had some ups and downs all through it, but it's just getting to the place where I am right now. It's just accepting that I can't plan everything. Life just happens, and you just kind of roll with it, and like you said, enjoy the journey.
Yeah, and I think you both mentioned being planners and enjoying life, and I know how it is, you want to, A, B, C, D, E, and just to be clear too for the viewers, you all want kids or wanting the kids. It's not there's a lot of people who don't want kids who are for I'm gonna be the rich auntie for life, I'm good, but you wanted children. And so when you think about where you're at now, what do you feel maybe some decisions that you made in life kind of led you to okay, the clock is ticking, we're getting, further along. And granted, women are having children 40, 45, 50, 55 now. But what do you feel maybe some decisions that you made that led you to you woke up one day and oh shoot, I have not had a child yet?
I just don't. If I look back now, there have been times where I've really felt like I was ready. But if I look back now, I haven't been ready. The career, obviously, I've spent most of my life on the road. I travel still a whole lot. And in that, it's also hard to find a man. I need a dad. So, you know, when you're traveling so much and like, you know, more of not being grounded, even in the physical sense, just the opportunity just they have come and they have gone. Where those opportunities could have been a thing, but I am in a place of trust that I will be a mother. I pray that I am what they call a bio mom. That's what I would like to do, but I ultimately want to be a mother. I am super inspired right now by several women, one being my sister, who has our son. He is great practice. He is amazing. And I cannot wait to share motherhood with my sister. I'm very excited about that. And I don't know if you saw a Renaissance film yet, but Queen Bee inspired me to be a mother. Like the way she had her children on the road like that, I know that that's never going to stop for me. I'm always going to have to travel. I'm always going to have to be away. But the way that she, like her family came first. She came off stage and was literally doing mother things all through and through. And I just love that about her. I love seeing women who can continue to do it. So it's been all the job stuff. It's been not having a man at times. It's been just not the time. But I still feel pretty good about it.
I think for me it was interesting as I became 40. I had made up in my mind that I was like, I am going to have my own family on my own, do all of the things myself. And then right at that time I lost my job. So it was kind of God saying, you know, like these are the plans that you have, but this might not be the time and what I have for you. And so that goes back into that whole planning where then I'm like, okay, at 42, then this is the perfect age because other people have done it. So this is when it'll happen. And it still didn't happen. Then we were like in COVID. So nobody was touching nobody. So there was
somebody was touching somebody.
But so I was like, all right, that's not going to happen right now either. So I think it's just waiting. Like haven't given up hope, and I don't know though for me if it's going to be biological or I've always been interested in adopting children, so for me that might be the route.
No, I thank you both for sharing that. And it's like I found sometimes I feel like there's misconceptions of like, well, if you're 40 you didn't want kids, or you just didn't want kids. I feel like that's what a lot of people assume, and they don't understand people's life circumstances. And so Patrice, you made just such a profound statement of like, I did not love where I was. I didn't love who I was, whether it was a 6, 16, 66, whatever size 66. You were. And I mean, how much of an impact do you feel like that had on your mental state to be able to even prepare yourself for motherhood or for somebody to bring a life in with somebody? Because that's heavy. Like when we don't love ourselves, I don't care what you got around you, you're no good to anybody.
And it's still a thing. Like that's one of the, I think, biggest reasons why I haven't been ready so many times. I'm like, my body, like I don't feel like, I know there's gonna be weight gain. Like, am I gonna be able to snatch it up so I can get back to work?
Girl, I'm still trying to snatch up my time to
survive. Good.
Spanx.
Cheers to the Spanx.
Cheers to the Spanx.
Skims or whatever.
Love Skims.
Okay. But no, I think that's been a big deal for me. Is like even now, I always say I only want to do it one time. I only want to have a baby one time. Now, if 2 come out at one time, then okay.
There you
go. I
go.
want to be pregnant one time. I think that's also like as I get older, like my knees, and also just like the time and the money that it takes, you know. So just I am ready to get it done and get it over with. I did that, but I didn't even really feel ready before now. Now I'm ready.
Yeah. And Nealy, with you mentioned like, you know, wanting to be and being ready and feeling like you were ready, and then it just seems like other, you know, timing, it didn't happen. How do you feel like self-love and self-reflection played a role in your mindset to become a mother?
That's a good question. I think I would say like, I guess in those times that I've thought that I was ready, but the older I get, the more I learn more about myself and am more comfortable with who I am and the woman that I am. I guess that I can see that maybe it wasn't the right time because I didn't have that mindset or that to give to a child, if that makes sense. Like, just not, I guess, not having that confidence. Like, I see things that other girls, you know, growing up and things and making notes of, like, if I have a daughter or a son, I would teach them this now because I've learned this from my experiences. So I think that that's important, and if it was any earlier, I may not have had that, and may have cost my child more therapy bills and everything going in.
Every child is going to go to therapy because their parents, regardless if you are, you know, great or terrible. I am a true believer in that. I know there's always a lot of times people are like, do you have kids? Why haven't you had kids yet? How does that actually make you feel, especially as someone who wants a child and it just hasn't happened yet? Because that's a very sensitive topic to even people who have kids.
You know what? I think it's rare that this is a lot of women's story, but I don't have that. I've not had that a whole lot, and I don't know if it's because people can see the things that I have done in my life, maybe why I haven't. Like, even my mom doesn't even, like, I've never had people on my back about it, but that has actually done the opposite to me. I'm like, well, did people think that I wouldn't be a good mom? Because, like, I literally do not get asked that at all. Like, my friends that want to be aunties and stuff, they'll mention it, but for the most part, that does not happen to me. And so that's kind of had the opposite effect on me, where I've questioned my ability to be a mom based on my career and my lifestyle. I have had comments from very, very close friends that, you know, we had to have it out about it. You know, there was comments like, are you sure you want a kid with your lifestyle? And I'm like, why not with my lifestyle? You know, it is something that I want and desire so badly. So I, you know, just like anything else in my life, I plan to accomplish it. But it's honestly probably, you know, people say anything. People just say anything. Even like, you know, like you hear women say all the time that, you know, especially after you have a baby, like, oh, like, how far along are you? Or they want to touch you or whatever. Like, people just do and say anything. I think it's really just a lack of empathy and a lack of awareness, a lack of, and probably also a little bit of projection, you know? So I've now chosen not to really talk about it that much, except with my partner, you know, like I'll talk to him about it, but.
And today.
Hi guys. But that has actually been the opposite effect on me.
That's an interesting perspective. I haven't heard that. It makes you question yourself.
Yeah,
like I don't think I'd be a good mom. Like,
oh, me and my baby, we gonna be it.
I get it all the time, so I don't know what that's like. And then I guess that a lot of times people just assume things, right? And so they're like, oh, well, you've been focused on your career, and so that's why you're just so stuck on your job and doing whatever. And I'm not career-wise exactly where I want to be. So then that questions, I'm like, well, geez, if I've been wasting my time, like, then I have like nothing to show for it. But yeah, I get that. I get, you know, I can't believe you're not married. Why aren't you married? And you should have kids and all of this stuff by now. I will say though that the plus is that I have a younger brother who has a child, and that made it tamper down a little bit off of me, because then they were like, parents are finally happy. They're like, we have a grandchild. Yeah. So everybody's not looking at me, but they're like, well, she's still not doing anything. And I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing? So
I think that question is so triggering for women, because you don't know what people are going through. So many people are doing like IVF and different treatments, and people ask me, and I'm like, you have no clue what's happening in my life. Like, I would have loved to have had another kid by now, but like my life circumstances have not allowed that. And it's just like, get out of there. Like, for real, like, you don't know people's life, and you don't know, like, if people have lost children. Like, it's so triggering. Like, it's so triggering. And so when you think about, like, you like as a woman, I feel like when you turn 40, it's like you get into like this groove. I'm almost there, but I feel like you get into this groove. And what have you learned about yourself since turning 40, and especially like maybe even being childless? I feel like there's definitely a little bit more freedom in that space. And what have you learned about yourself that has made you most proud to be where you are right now?
There's a whole lot less caring.
Not give up.
I know about a lot of things. And I just share less. I'm a Gemini. We can be oversharers. I'm like the perfect person to have. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So, but sharing less, keeping more tight within myself and the people that I hold close to my heart and in my circle, because it's everything is sensitive, you know, like as you are trying to progress in life and career, and you know, with my career I get so many heartbreaks. You know, everybody wants to like shoot. Everybody wants to cheer you on, root you on. That was a combination of root and cheer. Cheer. But when you ask me about something over and over again and I didn't book it or something like that is just too much. So just keeping stuff tight and not caring would be my biggest things, and just doing what I want to do.
Yeah. I think for me it's actually sharing more and being more authentic. But it's still not caring, because this is who I am, this is how I feel, this is what I say. And if somebody, because there's always going to be someone that doesn't like it, and I come from being definitely a people pleaser, so I've come to the place where, if you don't like me, you don't like what I'm saying, then there are other people that do. So putting my energy there. But I think through being more authentic and sharing things, I've been able to connect with a lot more people that have maybe felt the same way or have had similar situations. So it's really hopefully helped them and also helped me in the process.
Yeah. What would you say to women who might be feeling really insecure about their situation, about being in this situation? Because, you know, everybody handles stuff differently. I think sometimes us as women, we have work that can block out a lot of some things that we're feeling. So it's just an ongoing cycle, like being on this hamster wheel. But what advice can you give to women somebody who's watching and might be in the same situation and just like beating themselves up about it?
I would say trust you and the process. Sometimes there's this like quote meme that goes around social media that's like, does God know we out here trusting the process? Like,
and he be cutting it real close.
Like, okay, but do you know that I'm out here? But I think that's true. Like, you know, be in alignment and be ready, you know. And because they say if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So I'm now doing the things that I need to do. One of my sister's girlfriend, we joke her, but she goes, I'm preparing my garden. But I think that's real, you know, like watching your food intake and doing what you need to do to be able to properly and healthily carry a baby, if that's what you really want, acting as if. I try to do that with everything. I think everyone should do that with everything. Whatever it is that you want, you know, if you want a job that, you know is going to start at 6 o'clock in the morning, then go ahead and go to bed and wake up and act as if that is what you want to do. So I'm not saying go buy baby clothes, because
they're expensive.
You know, maybe you start treating your body in the way and speaking it, you know, sharing it instead of, you know, if I become, you know, instead of saying if, say when, and speak in the moment.
Yeah,
that's now.
Great advice.
I think it's just being kinder to ourselves. Especially as women, we're very hard on ourselves. We have all kinds of expectations, have all kinds of plans, and it's okay to not always be okay. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to feel, you know, defeated and all of those things, but don't stay there. Like my best friend and I have this whole thing. Anytime we go through something, she'll tell me, she's like, okay, you have a day. You can feel sorry for yourself and feel bad for the day. And then the next day she's like, guess what? That day's over. So now move forward.
Yeah, that's real. Because I'll be staying in stuff for like months, years, decades. Ladies, thank you so much for joining in this conversation and being vulnerable enough to share. Where can people find more information about you, about what you have going on?
Yeah, I am at Patrice Covington on Instagram. I don't really have anything else. I love Instagram. So holler at me there.
and I'm all over the place when I'm there. But I do have my own website. It's purpleinked.com, so I'm always on there or on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Perfect. Thank you, ladies. Cheers to a healthy year.
Cheers.
Thank you all for
Thank
watching
you.
this episode of Before Brunch TV. You can find this episode and more episodes at beforebrunchtv.com. We'll see you next time.